Our story continues as Taboot tries to end the situation peacefully, calmly placing the alien smuggler under arrest, while the fiery industrial backdrop makes the whole station feel like it's melting around them. But the second the creature lunges, diplomacy evaporates. The page explodes into motion with blaster fire, brutal close-ups, and that giant shock hammer smashing through the panel like a freight train. Even here, the droid stays ice-cold under pressure. Then the chaos is turned up another level. A massive serpent-like creature bursts into the fight while shadowy figures close in from every side, making the droid look completely outnumbered. But even surrounded by teeth, claws, and panic, Taboot stays weirdly polite, asking if they should call for backup like this is just another routine patrol. Then the blaster fire hits, and the whole page snaps into pure survival mode. This feels like a nightmare spiraling out of control. Lawson is barely standing, poisoned and fading fast, while Taboot calmly scans his vitals like a medic trapped inside a war zone. Then the page mutates into pure creature horror. Spider-like monsters crawl from the shadows, the serpent lashes across the room, and every panel feels more claustrophobic than the last. By the end, Lawson is fighting panic as much as the monsters themselves. A giant alien bruiser gets absolutely wrecked while Taboot stays weirdly calm, tossing out deadpan lines in the middle of total chaos. But the mood shifts fast. Spider-like creatures burst into the fight, wrapping around the droid as the whole scene spirals into nightmare fuel. The art makes every panel feel frantic and claustrophobic, like the heroes are being swallowed alive by the underworld of Coruscant itself. Lawson is completely falling apart here. The venom is hitting hard, his vision is collapsing, and every shadow starts looking like another monster waiting to strike. What makes this scene work so well is the paranoia. He refuses backup, refuses trust, and keeps pushing forward even while barely conscious. Then, that sudden red blaster shot cuts through the darkness like pure survival instinct. The whole sequence feels exhausted, desperate, and dangerously isolated. Back at Police HQ, Lawson's warning lands like a thermal detonator. Somebody tipped off the smugglers, and now the entire operation smells rotten from the inside out. Chief Kleiss wants order restored fast, but Lawson's instincts are screaming mole. Meanwhile, Taboot stands there quietly processing everything like the galaxy's most judgmental toaster. After all the chaos, this scene almost feels calm, but not safe. Lawson is pulled back into the squad, surrounded by new allies who already feel uneasy and suspicious of each other. Hendrix looks exhausted, Fraxmore looks impossible to read, and even the handshakes feel tense. The art quietly hints that nobody in this room fully trusts anyone else. It's less team assembled, and more future disaster waiting to happen. This scene slows everything down and replaces the monsters with pure tension. Taboot's casually serving coffee is somehow more unsettling than the action scenes. The conversations feel cold, careful, and loaded with suspicion. Rule knows the department is corrupt, Lawson knows it too, and neither man fully trusts the other. Even the silence between panels feels heavy. It's detective noir wrapped inside a Star Wars crime thriller, lit by steam and paranoia. This scene shifts into full detective thriller mode. The squad starts connecting the dots between poisonings, syndicates, and a criminal network spreading across Janix. Everyone in the room looks exhausted, suspicious, and trapped inside a system that's already rotting from the inside. The green hologram screens give the whole sequence a cold surveillance state feeling, like Coruscant's underworld is too massive for anyone to truly control anymore. The atmosphere here is pure suspense. A hidden safe house, empty corridors, flickering lights, and cables crawling across the walls like veins. Jam Jam is supposed to be protecting a witness, but the entire place already feels compromised. Then the lighting suddenly shifts to red, and the silence breaks apart instantly. That final close-up says everything. She already knows something has gone terribly wrong, and the trap is probably closing around them. Blaster fire tears through the darkness as panic turns into instinct. She fires blindly into the corridor, desperate to stop whatever's hunting her. Then comes the voice, calm, mechanical, commanding. A tiny probe droid emerges from the shadows, and suddenly the fight changes. This isn't just survival anymore, it's control. And in the silence after the gunfire, one thought crashes through everything else: she may already be trapped. The explosion isn't chaos, it's an announcement. Out of the smoke steps a hunter carrying the kind of calm that makes every threat feel real. It's Hendrix. He doesn't rush. Even his warning sounds like a sentence already decided. The mention of Demas changes everything, but it's the unfinished line that hits hardest. The fear in that pause says more than any blaster ever could. Taboot appears. The droid's voice stays calm, almost polite, but every word feels like a trap closing shut. Hendrix fights anyway, clinging to the illusion that he still has control. It lasts about 2 seconds. The machine overpowers him effortlessly while blaster fire lights the corridor red. And then comes the twist. The officer everyone feared suddenly sounds relieved, praising the kid for being on the right side. In this place, nobody even agrees on who the enemy is anymore. The truth finally crashes into the open. Hendrik thought he was working for the right people, but every answer arrives 1 second too late. His guilt is real, yet the machine beside him feels colder than any villain in the room. Then comes the scream, the panic, and suddenly the conversation ends in pure violence. One brutal blast from out of the darkness sends Hendrix flying like a ragdoll through the corridor. Fraxmore is nowhere to be found. Back at Police HQ, the blasters are holstered, but the pressure somehow feels heavier. Lawson refuses to let the case die, demanding answers while every official around him tries to shut the door. The deeper he digs, the clearer it becomes that corruption on Janix runs straight through the system itself. Even the droids are picking sides now. And when Lawson finally makes his threat, it lands cold as space vacuum. Next time, there won't be warnings. The China system feels less like a destination and more like a trap waiting to close. Smugglers promise secret identities, hidden cargo holds, safe passage through the shadows. But in this galaxy, every deal has teeth. When confidence starts to creep in, the darkness answers back, "I'll take the ship." A red blade ignites like a scream through the corridor, and suddenly survival becomes the only currency left. Maul has arrived, and the shadows belong to him now. And there he is, not hiding in the shadows anymore, but owning them. Maul moves like a nightmare given form, every motion precise, every strike inevitable. The smugglers thought they were selling escape routes through the underworld. Instead, they delivered exactly what he wanted. No rage, no hesitation, just purpose. And with Janix now in his sights, the galaxy suddenly feels a whole lot smaller for everyone standing in his way. Maul thinks the deal is done, but the next target is already moving. Janix, crime lords, secret surveillance, and one name hanging in the shadows: Nicodemus. This isn't the end, it's the fuse being lit. Follow for the next issue because the hunt is about to get dirty.